Because the different Greek city-states like Athens and Sparta could abandon their internal differences, they were able to ultimately join together and battle Persia as a unified country. It is a strategy they first employed at the Thermopylae Pass.
Sometimes we don't appreciate how important Thermopylae was, perhaps not from a military perspective, but from a symbolic and cultural perspective. Greece was becoming what it had never been. It was moving away from being a hodgepodge of small city-states into a nation that had a sense of being one, of being Greek more than Athenian, Greek more than Spartan. And to begin to identify its own values and cultures, not as individual city-states, but as a nation as a whole.
Eventually, Phillip of Macedon takes this one step further and unifies the Greek city-states into a single country. With this unified country, Philip's son Alexander destroys the Persian Empire and exports Greek culture throughout the world, introducing the vanquished to Greek politics, law, literature, philosophy, and art.
And the culture he spread became the very basis of Western civilization. All of that would have been impossible, would have been completely impossible had Greece remained nothing more than a set of separate city-states. But it had become one nation, its sense of nationalism. And that sense of nationalism began at one important place. And that place was at the pass of Thermopylae.
It was a last stand for Leonidas and the 300 Spartans. Soldiers who stayed behind and fought to the death while their Greek brethren escaped to fight another day.
Wars are won by breaking the will of your enemy to fight on. And at Thermopylae, Leonidas and the Spartans began to break the will of the Persians.
It would take another 150 years, but the memory of the 300 Spartans will eventually spur the Greeks to victory over the Persians.
If the Persians had been victorious, democracy would have been stopped in its tracks. And it is, I think, inconceivable that democracy would have arisen anywhere else in either the Near East or the Greek world. And that would have been the end of democracy.
For centuries, military scholars have examined the Spartans' last stand, where few stood against many, and death was the ultimate sacrifice. While many still admire and cherish this Spartan heroism and bravery, what is perhaps more important is what the battle did for Western civilization and the world.